Ejiro, a young and beautiful woman, had just completed her National Youth Service Corps (NYSC) and was fortunate to be retained by the marketing firm where she had served. At just 25 years old, she was now gainfully employed, earning a salary that ran into millions with enticing benefits. Life was good. Financially, she was set, but in her love life, things were different. Ejiro was still single and desperately hoping to find the right man to settle with. One Saturday afternoon, she decided to go do some grocery shopping at her favorite supermarket in Warri. As she browsed through the aisles, her eyes fell on a fine-looking young man who stood a few steps away. His name, she would soon find out, was Tega. Tall, with a neatly trimmed beard and dressed stylishly. Tega was the kind of man every woman would notice, but Ejiro, determined not to appear eager, pretended not to see him. After all, she had to play hard to get. However, Tega was sharp. After a few glances in her direction, he walked confidently over to her. They exchanged pleasantry, and before long, contact. As they parted ways at the checkout, Ejiro could barely contain her excitement. Back at her apartment, Ejiro couldn't wait to tell her best friend Betty about Tega. Betty arrived later that evening and they both collapsed on the couch, snacks in hand. "Babes, guess wetin happened today?" Ejiro began, barely able to hide her grin. "Waiting," Betty asked, raising an eyebrow. "I meet one fine, correct boy for supermarket. Tall, fresh, everything set." Ejiro sighed dreamily. Betty laughed. "I don't hear this one before, oh. So wetin be him name?" "Tega. He even collect my number, oh." But you no go call am, oh, make you no go dey look cheap," Betty warned, wagging her finger playfully. Ejiro rolled her eyes. "Abeg, I go wait. But if he no call by Monday, I no fit hold body, oh, I go call am first." Saturday night came and went, and so did Sunday. Ejiro checked her phone constantly, hoping to see Tega's name flash on the screen, but nothing. By Monday evening, she was restless. "Betty, I don't tire. Tega no call me, oh," Ejiro complained during a phone chat. "Calm down. If you no call today, then maybe you fit try am tomorrow. But no call am too quick, oh," Betty said. But Ejiro couldn't wait anymore. She dialed his number later that evening. "Hello, Tega. It's me, Ejiro," she said, trying to sound casual. "Ejiro, I've been meaning to call, but I was at a family event all weekend. I'm sorry I didn't reach out sooner," Tega explained smoothly. Ejiro sighed with relief. "Ah, no problem. I just thought maybe you forget me, oh." "Forget you? Impossible," he replied, his voice warm. "Let's meet up tomorrow now." After that phone call, Ejiro and Tega became inseparable. They would talk every day, texting each other about anything and everything. Over the weeks, their bond deepened. One afternoon, Betty came over for one of their regular catch-up sessions in Ejiro's living room. "So, this Tega guy, how e dey go?" Betty asked as she poured herself a glass of juice. Ejiro smiled. "Betty, I no go lie, I don't fall for am. Now every day we dey talk. Sometimes I dey even wonder how I take survive before I meet am." Betty raised an eyebrow. "Abeg, make sure say him dey serious, so no let love blind your eye." Ejiro waved her off. "I know, but I feel say we dey go somewhere serious." After a year of dating, Tega proposed. He took Ejiro to an upscale restaurant in Warri, and after a romantic dinner, he got down on one knee and asked her to marry him. Ejiro, overwhelmed with emotion, said yes. The news of their engagement spread like wildfire among their friends and family. While Ejiro's parents were happy, they were cautious. They asked her if she was sure about Tega. "I love him, Mom. We know each other well enough," Ejiro reassured her parents, smiling. The wedding preparation began, and Ejiro, who was now earning even more money at her firm, spared no expense. Her parents urged her to save and invest, but she shrugged it off. The future will take care of itself, she said confidently. Shortly after their wedding, Tega and Ejiro moved into a rented apartment, which Ejiro paid for. One evening, as they sat in their living room, Tega brought up a discussion about their future. "Darling, we should start planning for the future, you know. I've been thinking, you handle the rent, the utility bills, and household expenses. I will take care of investments like building our dream home and buying shares. That way we can grow together," Tega suggested. Ejiro, seeing sense in the plan, agreed. But when her parents heard about the arrangement, they were concerned. "Ejiro, you should protect yourself financially too. Make sure your name is on the properties," her father advised. But Tega, furious that her parents were involved, convinced Ejiro to cut them off. "They just want to ruin our happiness, my love," he claimed. Ejiro, blinded by love, distanced herself from her friends and family. Fast forward 20 years. Ejiro and Tega were now in their 40s. Ejiro had been laid off work from her job 5 years ago, and she had spent the last of her savings taking care of their home and their 3 children. Meanwhile, Tega had become wealthy, acquiring properties and assets. But something had changed. Tega began acting distant, picking fights over the smallest things and disappearing for days without explanation. Ejiro suspected he had side chicks, but she tried to ignore it. "As long as he comes back home, I no go talk," she told herself. But things took a shocking turn when one day, Tega brought a 25-year-old woman into their home and introduced her as his second wife. Ejiro was stunned. "You dey play, abi?" she asked, her voice shaking. "I'm serious, Ejiro. I want you to leave this bedroom. My new wife will stay here now," Tega said coldly. Heartbroken and betrayed, Ejiro took the matter to court, demanding half of Tega's property. On the day of the hearing, Tega arrived in an expensive suit, his new wife by his side. Ejiro's lawyer argued that she was entitled to half of everything since she had supported him for 20 years. But Tega's lawyer was sharp. "My lord, the said properties are in my client's name. Mrs. Ejiro's name does not appear on any of the documents. They simply say Mr. and Mrs. Tega Ufoma. Anyone could be Mrs. Tega Ufoma." Ejiro couldn't believe what she was hearing. "Ogene, Tega, you do me strong thing," she cried out. The judge ruled in favor of Tega, leaving Ejiro with nothing. Outside the courtroom, she confronted Tega. "Pay me for all the bills where I don't pay. Pay me for the school fees, the food, everything where I don't show that all these years, Tega. You do me strong thing." Sitting outside the courtroom, Ejiro wept. She regretted not listening to her parents, not investing when she had the chance, and allowing Tega to manipulate her. "If only I had built something for myself," she thought bitterly. In her time of need, she turned to Betty, who along with her parents helped her raise money to start a small business. Slowly, Ejiro began to rebuild her life, focusing on her 3 children who were now in university. Although she and Tega remained co-parents, the damage was done. He had another baby with his new wife. While Ejiro focused on her business and the lessons she had learned, now she advises young women to be financially independent, to know their partners well before marriage, and to always protect themselves.